Go.
Okay, so this is in anticipation of my fourth show that I'm going to do about registering my deed, which is to prove that I'm not a legal fiction, that I actually live in the apartment that I live in. And this is to the Honorable Norman Goodman. He is the County Clerk, 60 Center Street, New York, New York. Honorable Goodman, I sent you my Freewill Act and Deed to be filed by registered mail on February 14, 2012. At the time, I made a video of me sending through registered mail to you the original copy of my Freewill Act and Deed with 3 seals on it. My seal, signature, and 3 fingerprints, a notary public's signature and seal, and the proof of authority of the notary, also sealed. This was a legal document entrusted to you to be recorded or returned with the law inscribed on it why it cannot be recorded, or returned with the law inscribed on it why it cannot be recorded. As it has not been returned, I would like to assume it has been recorded. If it has not been recorded, then why has it not been returned to me with the law inscribed on it why it has not been recorded, or why it cannot be recorded? I have made 3 58-minute videos on this subject, which I intend to play on my daily public access TV show on Community Affairs, Channel 34, April 18th, April 20th, and April 24th at 12 noon, called Farther Down the Rabbit Hole with Paula Gloria. I'm trying to protect the paper from the drizzly here. I intend to do a follow-up video with the results of my quest to file my original Freewill Act and Deed. I would like to remind you, I think you're going to have to cover this smearing. Yeah.
Go.
I would like to remind you, you better come closer to here, of your responsibility to give honest service. That is Title 18, U.S.C., Section 1346, the Federal Mail and Wire Fraud Statute, added by the United States Congress in 1988, which states, for the purpose of this chapter, the term scheme or artifice to defraud includes a scheme or artifice to deprive another of the intangible right of honest service. These are the videos I will play on my show in 3 parts, with the final 4th part awaiting your decision or some response from you, which will hopefully bring this matter to an amicable conclusion. Please respond after you have watched these videos. If there are any errors in these videos, I will correct any misstatements I have made in the 4th video, so please advise me. And then I give, all that URL stuff. Paula Gloria registers her Freewill Act and Deed. And then another one, All Great Movements Start from the People. Is quiet title really that quiet? Because you've heard about quiet title in mortgage foreclosure issues. Please contact me at the above address and inform me if my deed has been recorded or if it will be sent back to me with the law inscribed on it why it cannot be recorded, or if there is a fee, how much and where do I pay? If I do not hear from you, I will assume that I have not gotten honest service and I will seek legal action. I hope this is just a misunderstanding and that won't be necessary. Please advise me within 30 days before I do my 4th show. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and I hope that it is just an oversight. And this is April 12th, so you have February, March. So it's been 2 months. I should have heard from them by now. And we're sending a copy to Attorney General Eric Schneiderman. And you can zoom in on the notary seal today. And this is the Woodstock Post Office. Okay? I think that's it.
Okay, here's Paula going into the Woodstock Post Office to file it.
Okay, send by registered mail so it goes to the jurisdiction of Bern, Switzerland, outside of the jurisdiction of the corporate United States of America, domiciled in the District of Columbia. Okay, so here we are on the green, and that's Abigail and Joe, and we're going to be signing the Declaration of Independence. Hey, how's it going, folks?
Hey, man, we got a signature. We got one signature.
Was that?
Get a bunch of people to sign it, and we're going to go register it at the county clerk's office. We're saying we are declaring our independence from the corporate government of the United States.
Right.
You want to declare your independence?
Well, essentially what it is that the original Declaration of Independence was separating itself from the king, who was guilty of a number of crimes. When we looked at the original Declaration of Independence, we saw that the same crimes that were being committed by the king are being committed by this corporate entity that has taken over our government. So we are reestablishing our Declaration of Independence from this entity of tyranny that is overriding our constitutional rights. So we are just reestablishing that we are not identifying that as our government, that we are not in agreement with its crimes, and that we are separating ourselves. So we're just like declaring it by signing, and then we have several signatures here already, and then we're going to just file that at the county clerk's office, just so that we have established that we are separate and sovereign and do not recognize them as our government, but that the government established under the Constitution is actually lawful and represents us.
Sure.
Great, and blue ink.
We got two. Start a new...
Well, blue ink's really good too because it can't be faked.
Right, but that's the thing.
Blue ink can't be faked.
Yeah.
For me to
Yeah, let me get you and your
my
dog.
legs. Believe it or not,
Yeah, have some,
any
man.
movement of the arm requires a certain leg muscle to balance. So
Okay, we got one more. There's two.
what a good signature.
Wait, there's two here.
Ray, do you want to sign it?
Yeah, put your paw prints on. You're a flesh and blood living dog.
I believe he should be, but we don't have any ink.
Yes, I think that your rights are also not considered
You don't
as far as
mind.
a part of the
How long
animal
is it gonna
kingdom,
be before you
the
turn
corporate
this in?
government that has formed itself and taken over our federalist
Probably a week or two.
All right, maybe we can
government.
get Whitey.
Also denying your rights to be free and have healthy food and be free to run and not be marked and chipped and watched and taken away, and God only knows what else other horrible thing can happen to a poor little dog.
Right. That's the whole idea. How can a corporation ever trump living flesh and blood human beings?
When I don't get a lawyer, and they try to always scare me. You need a lawyer, and I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't need a lawyer. That's exactly what I don't need, because then I lose more of my rights.
Yep.
So I thought that piece of paper was good enough to sign. I think you ought to use that other piece of paper and get that out along with this and hand it out to people and let them start filing it with the Attorney General.
Enormous bills. This is like $207. That's just like 2 months of a utilities bill. And of course, everybody has seen this. When I went to India the first time and I was working with these machines, people thought it was miraculous that you could put in a credit card and get money out. See if this will work. Oh, maybe it just got that direct. It didn't like the other bills, so I'm trying this one.
So here are the stories.
So this machine gives you exactly what you put in, but undoubtedly it's tied up with the profits that are made from these machines. I'm sure in the future you're just going to put credit cards in it. Very important to keep track of these machines so that they don't run us, and then pretty soon we can't afford the benefit. So while this is being done, I'm going to take you upstairs to the roof. Okay, I just pressed this to the 9th floor because we're going to go up on the roof. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that. You can hear the vacuum cleaner, Pancho cleaning on the different floors. Isn't this nice how it's all decorated with the child's artwork? here we are on the roof. I've got some nice shots of Maggie and Harold when they came over. We came up once, and the door shut behind us. Now, over here is Gramercy Park, and we're up on the roof of the north side of this building. And there's a child's plaything. What I want to explain to you here is some people claim that property taxes are somehow going over to the Vatican, and they're disturbed about this. Now, the importance of praying is a lot. The importance of being really peaceful and understanding, you know, how to connect with God and in concert with other people. You know, look at the great buildings that you have. This should be resolved. Where are property taxes going, and how do you create beautiful buildings and culture? The problem is you don't want to have the energy that you need to get the healings to your own body and to those who are suffering. How do you build up that power so that you can heal? People say power corrupts and ultimate power corrupts ultimately. On the other hand, Mother Teresa was saying you have to learn how to heal with the power of God. So clearly, if a person's sick, how do you get that extra energy in there? Now, for those of you who followed my shows about cannabis and hemp oil, I used to be very much against cannabis because I thought that the high that you got would distract the focus that was built up when you would do things like pray and pray and pray. But now I'm realizing you need both. You need intention and focus, but you clearly need the help of the plant kingdom and also the benefit of many of those wise people who've gone before and have figured out how to get this divine connection. Also in court, when they talk about the law, the purpose of the law ultimately is to have a society that's functioning smoothly so that human beings can operate with each other in such a way that each person's talents can work together with other people's talents, and you don't have some people ripping off other people, but that you work together. So I already showed you my telephone bill, and the electricity bill that I paid, I only got this little slip, so there's something different going on with that. The telephone bill was paid with a machine. I'm saying we need to put our heads together to find out how you get the spiritual power that you need to stand up seemingly against all the money in the world. Usually corporations are registered with organizations that sit at the top of these very great corporate power structures. Nevertheless, these corporations ultimately derive their power from the faithful. So you see throughout the ages that the saints, people who have stumbled on ways to connect themselves, and then those around them, usually the poor, because if you're not poor, then you're invested in your belief with the system. All great movements are going to be starting from the poor, because it's going to be the poor that will feel the brunt of the limitations of corporations. They'll know that they're not flesh and blood human beings, and that all power ultimately should be to serve. So I have seen some very great statements coming out, say from the Catholic Church, say on binary economics, or the importance of distributing equity among all. Equity is ownership or power. If you, through high rents, push people out and they don't have access to plant their plants and their gardens and so on, you're going to see that they will eventually be servants of those who do have access to the resources. And that's what the ultimate tension is with monopoly. Monopoly will eventually become like a tumor, and it will kill everything. Whereas the great understanding, say, of Jesus is that the least among us has to be ministered to, and that's how you grow close to Jesus and to the love and to the miracles and to the healings that he expressed. So this is Paula Gloria with an episode of Farther Down the Rabbit Hole, coming